26 years ago, Dana Mecum had a vision for a large mega auction, but I really doubt if he even envisioned that it could have grown to the status it is that we're going to enjoy in 2013.
Mecum converges on Indy and it becomes the muscle car capital of the world, with the world's largest muscle car auction.
6 days, 2,000 cars, and $50 million in sales expected.
The roots and DNA of the original Spring Classic has always been muscle cars.
But let's not forget that collector cars of all types, pre-war classics, hot rods, Corvettes, 50s chrome and fin era cars, modern European exotics are all welcome and expected to be in full force at Indy this year.
Mecum really gets the best muscle cars out there. It's just remarkable. I've been able to photograph for Mecum as company photographer almost all of these automobiles that are in the brochures, the high dollar stuff, and it's second to none. This is the best of the best.
The first couple days of the auction, Tuesday and Wednesday, will be entry and mid-level collectible cars, and then it'll get ramped up to where the true investment grade cars will hit, starting with the catalog segment on Thursday, and chock full of six-figure cars, and we've even got one special surprise that's expected to exceed $1 million. The crown jewel of collector cars really has to be the 1967 Shelby GT500 Super Snake. That's a legendary, one-of-a-kind Shelby supercar.
For any Shelby fan and any Ford fanatic, it's one of the holy grails of Mustangs.
There are very few cars that can compare to the historical significance in the Shelby hierarchy than the 67 Shelby Super Snake. It was really the car that started the big block high-performance wars that continued for the next couple years, and of course, as we all know, tragically ended in 1970.
The Shelby GT500 Super Snake, you can feel the history in that car. You really can. And it runs beautifully. The vehicle is really special. And when you walk up to it, you know it's not just from the three stripes. You know, it's the only Shelby Mustang from, you might say, up until the current generation GT500s with three stripes from the factory. It's the only one.
We have 4 or 5 great collections going to be at Indianapolis this year, but we also have single cars coming that come out of some of the best collections in the country as well.
A great variety of some of the high-end muscle cars and Corvettes that we're going to see at Indy are on display right now in the Mecum Gallery. This is a little bit unique because this is an opportunity for buyers to come in and inspect these true high-end investment grade cars in a shall we say, a little bit more controlled environment than the high-paced auction scene. So as a result of that, one of the great cars of this collection is a 1963 Chevrolet Corvette split window coupe. I think it's generally known throughout the collector car community that maybe one of the first significant cars a true collector is going to want to seek out is a 1963 Corvette split window coupe. The styling and the design and the history of that car is truly iconic, and this tuxedo black with red interior 340 horse 327 is about as good as it gets for an investment grade collector. Well, there's rare Corvettes and then there's rare Corvettes. 1967 Chevrolet Corvette, referred to as the black and blue. This is considered one of the rarest Corvettes, and here's why. It's only one of 4 known to exist with the tuxedo black paint and the blue interior, and it's the only black and blue big block roadster in existence. Don Yanko was the innovator and the leader and has produced the best, and now, all these years later, the most valuable of all the tuner cars produced in the 1960s. There was one car that arrived in the Mecum Gallery that really fooled me. It's a 1968 Chevrolet Biscayne L79 is all original with 720 original miles. We are looking at the absolutely best preserved hot rod 68 big block Biscayne in the world. One phenomenon that we've seen in the investment grade collector market is the resurgence of pickup trucks. One of the best examples I've ever seen is a 1972 Chevrolet Cheyenne Super with a factory 402 big block. It's got the wood grain trim, houndstooth interior. It was totally restored with new GM parts back in '06. It's a turbo-hydromatic automatic transmission and loaded to the gills.
We also have a very rare, highly documented 68 L89 Camaro convertible, which you don't see every day.
Typically in the performance era in the 1960s, most of the high performance versions of pony cars and muscle cars were hardtops. But that didn't prevent a handful of people from deciding that they wanted the top engine performance options available and match it with the sporty convertible, and that's what we have here. 1968 Chevrolet Camaro L89 convertible. That's a 375 horsepower, 396 with the L89 aluminum heads. There were only 6 produced, and there's only 2 documented examples known to exist today. Mecum has really developed an aptitude and a reputation for not only for high-end cars like the Shelby Super Snake, but for also collections as well. To be able to take cars of this caliber and manage these cars from a public relations standpoint, advertising, marketing, and of course ultimately success on the auction block is something that really Mecum strives to give the absolute best service. And I think the results of Mecum over the past 5 or 6 years, now growing to be the world's largest collector car auction company, has proven that they can definitely get the job done.
Reserve is off, sold. You bought it, $21,500, sold.